You've heard of Russian Oreshniks, you've heard of Iran's Fattah and Khorram Shahars and Khyber Shakans, but Turkey, as of just a couple of days ago, July 22nd, 2025, has entered the club of hypersonic missile capable nations, and we're going to talk about it. Meet the Typhoon Block-4. For anyone living under a rock or the heavy blanket of Western propaganda, where they try not to talk about the technological achievements outside of the North Atlantic countries, here's what this means. First of all, hypersonic missiles are renowned and feared. Why? Because the defender is left spending millions on expensive interceptors to try and shoot these missiles out of the sky, and even then 100% success is near impossible to achieve. Why is it impossible to achieve? Because hypersonic missiles have a key trait that makes them a nightmare to try and stop once they are fired. They can wiggle, right? My money don't jiggle. My missiles don't stay straight. They wiggle. Sorry. They can maneuver. They can change course, right? They can course correct. Before we carry on, a sincere request to like and heart this post and bookmark or save this post and drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Engagement like that helps me convince the system to push my videos to more people. So this comment is breaking the flow. Sorry, but I'm trying to push to more people so that... Anyway, back to the topic. Now, military technology is frighteningly advanced. So these Typhoons... Let me drop some statistics for you. They can travel Mach 5 times the speed of sound. A 10-meter long, 7-ton missile flying at 5 times the speed of sound. Not nice at all. They can carry powerful warheads. They can change course mid-air. It's like trying to stop Ronaldo or Messi, or for my parents' generation, Maradona. That seems to be big in Bangladesh for some reason. From scoring a goal. They're trying to, it's a penalty, they're trying to score a goal, except the speed of the ball is Mach 5. Your interceptor costs literally millions of dollars each, not your hand. And if the enemy scores, it's not a ball in the net, but a big boom somewhere in your backyard. So, yeah, not the best analogy, but you get the idea. The missiles were unveiled at Turkey's defense summit a couple of days ago and has sent ripples of conversation through defense circles globally. There's a new hypersonic player in town. Now that's the news. Here's the analysis that I hope you come to me for, because this page is geopolitical analysis. Who should be worried? That's the question. Well, let me tell you who is worried. Israel, whose whole country falls within range of these missiles if fired from Turkish soil. Israel has stated that this may make Turkey a direct threat, as reported by the National Interest, a strategy paper or media site. But Mahfouz, you're asking, Turkey is NATO, it's Western backed. We're always screaming and shouting about how Erdogan is all bark and no bite. Yes, for now, Turkey is NATO, is Western aligned, and therefore not directly a threat to Israel. But there may very well come a time when being in NATO outlives its usefulness. This is what we do on this page, right? We assess, we analyze geopolitically to look at the mid to long-term possibilities and the potential movements at state level, not just read the breaking headlines today, which came about as a result of something that's been probably in the works for days or weeks or months or years, right? We try to stay ahead of the curve, so we better understand how the world's working. Now, already, Turkey is having to throw its weight behind Syria, new Syria, to make sure Israel doesn't just steamroll the new Syrian government in Damascus. Expect, therefore, the Turkish-Israeli relationship to just get more strained as time goes on, not improve. They're already at friction over Syria, and that's not even considering the other factors. Words from Erdogan, Turkish head of state. Many say it's bark and no bite. Yes, but geopolitically, you see, it's not just a bark and no bite situation. His rhetoric is a primer. His rhetoric readies or keeps the citizens of the Turkish state ready, so that if it ever does come to it, anti-Israeli sentiment is high enough for hostility to be initiated smoothly, effectively, and with the backing, with the consent of the Turkish citizens. And we saw how painful hypersonic missiles were when they hit Tel Aviv from Iran. Well, the Turkish state is richer, is integrated with the West, is more developed as an economy, is not choked by sanctions like Iran is, but with none of the drawbacks, in fact, of being reliant on the US. Because here's the kicker that people won't talk about. The Typhoon hypersonic missile recently, damn it, The Typhoon hypersonic missile, recently revealed, like a lot of Turkish military hardware, is homegrown. Not that missiles grow from the soil, like homegrown after you water them with rocket fuel or anything. No. Homegrown as in domestically produced, right? No Western strings attached. Turkey makes these themselves. They're not under some sort of defense agreement with the United States that can be cancelled when Trump is, wakes up on the wrong side of the Oval Office bed or whatever. I don't know where the presidential bed is. Anyway, Israel will be worried, in summary, because Turkey has the potential of becoming a future adversary, a future rival. Is definitely, Turkey is definitely a regional power. Israel's a regional power. Syria is already a flashpoint for them, a point of strain. So Israel should be worried. And India. Why? Because Turkish-Pakistani defense ties are closening, they're strengthening. The fifth generation Khan Turkish fighter jet, for example, are already being readied for production in Pakistan under a military tech transfer agreement to be produced with Chinese jet engines, no less. So it will be a Pakistani variant with Chinese engines and it will be a Turkish fighter jet. That's all very... Turkey has its own fifth generation fighter. That's not bad, That's not bad. Right? It's very likely Turkey will make these hypersonic missiles also available to the Islamic Republic on the subcontinent, Pakistan. Worry for India, who already got a taste not just of tea, which they said was excellent, but of Chinese fighters with Pakistani pilots not too long after the Pahalgam flare-up, or during the Pahalgam flare-up, which was not too long ago. That's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I messed up. Coming back to the news. After the US and France, Turkey becomes the third nation in NATO to have hypersonic missiles, and the second in what could be described as the Islamic world after Iran. With these missiles, and with very little in the way of adversaries, really, Greece is getting a bit sweaty, not from its heat or climate or excess olive oil ingestion, but from having Turkey as a neighbor who's developing their defense capabilities so well. Understandable if you know about the historic rivalry between the two countries. But by and large, Turkey has no clear enemies and Greece is not really up there. It controls a few islands here and there in the Mediterranean. Formerly, you could say they were, some Ottoman territories. But anyway, Turkey worries mostly Israel directly and India indirectly. For the time being, these hypersonic missiles, though revealed, are unlikely to be deployed in action. Unless things pop off in Syria. I don't even want to go there. That's another video. Guys, for the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz, and I'll see you on the next one. Also, I didn't use my mic. Yeah, it's just freer, It's just freer. And I don't know how many people actually appreciate it. Maybe on YouTube it will be more appreciated. On TikTok it's a bit more cash, It's a bit more cash. It's a bit more impromptu. It's a bit more... what's the word? Not procrastination. It's a bit more improvisation. Sorry, I'll stop.